What's something we haven't talked about that you want to talk about?
Dave, what do you think?
Well, I think kind of the imagination to see what this could be, that generates additional enthusiasm and has impact on people's lives for from this day forward. One of the things that we're evaluating right now in high gear is the market in India. We have, by virtue of warm introductions, we have some friends over there who are aware of what we're doing, and they said, you know what, India has freshwater issues in high order concern. The government's very concerned about it.
Actually, what he told you, Dave, was we talk about California having a situation.
Yeah. Well, so my friend over there says, well, Dave, here's a way to think of it. You guys are focused on Florida and California, kind of, right? They said, well, think about the market we have over here as 30 to 40 times bigger than your California market. And it's different, and we need to learn about it. But it does, I say, for other entrepreneurs to think very large about the product or the service or whatever, and how it will impact others, on the planet, for the planet. So in India, they get their monsoon, and they said there's been tough monsoons these last few years, and a lot of the stuff runs off. So every year they're struggling. So we're working with folks over there to put a plan together that will involve the government of India around supporting this kind of innovation that has, health and water conservation at the same time. And, they can tell in India, they can tell the hospitality industry, look, new construction or renovation is going to use this, and we can be spec'd into there.
So Dave mentioned health. I would like to share a shout out to Dr. Anna Jang at ODU at their School of Environmental Health. She actually, I'd always hypothesized that it's cleaner to drink from a water fountain than the glass that sits on the counter when they're both exposed to the aerosol effect from the toilet. You guys know what the aerosol effect is, Zach and Tim? So when you flush the toilet, bioaerosols get ejected, and they travel as far as 10 to 15 feet, and they land on all the surfaces. Mike Rowe has the world's dirtiest man. He has a great video on that. Dr. Oz has talked about it. A lot of people have talked about it in the industry. You can find those videos. But I had always hypothesized it's cleaner for the fountain feature than it is the glass, but I never had any scientific proof. So last year, Dr. Anna Jang and two of her graduate students actually took one of our faucets, and they had it in an environment at ODU in a lab, and they put the glass and the faucets together, and they exposed it to E. coli and so forth, and they took readings. And in fact, they couldn't even get any positive reading inside the fountain nozzle, and they actually had to squirt it, inject it in there to get anything. And bottom line is, their study proved it's much cleaner to drink from the fountain feature. And that study was actually published in the spring 2020 version of the Virginia Journal of Health. So that's really cool. So now it's cleaner to drink from just because of that. You add a filter, the water's cleaner. It makes your life easier and saves water while you're doing it. So one thing I want to mention, a lot of people may not realize all the use cases. I didn't myself. When I first did this, it was really only thought about, stop and tilt my head underneath the faucet to rinse after I brush. But we did the production pilot where we installed it in a number of places, and we learned of all these different uses. So my wife, every night, but she wants to rinse facial cleanser, she would cup her hands and splash her face, and water gets all over the counter. It's kind of messy. Now, every night, she turns on the hot and cold handles at the same time, gets a warm, gentle fountain stream, and dips her face in it, and it just rinses away. You can do the same thing with shaving cream. It also is useful. My father was in a retirement home here in Suffolk before he passed away. We installed a faucet for him to make it easier for him to drink from. But he also, because he had knee replacement surgery, there were days he didn't want to stand in the shower. He could actually give his hair a light rinse with it. He couldn't fit his head underneath the faucet spout, but the fountain stream worked perfect for that. We've had our vet tell us that her husband had bad back, and that, she would like it because he wouldn't have to bend over and use that dirty glass anymore. There's also a builder named Ed Sadler here in Harbor View. His wife ran into me in the parking lot one day and said, man, I could have used your faucet last week. I said, why is that? She goes, I had vertigo. So, bending over made it tougher because you get more dizzy. So we've learned that people with chronic health conditions benefit from it. And even there's things you'd never think of, like Virginia Maryland Associates, a lady named Sue Resnick works for him. And she said, guess what I'm doing with it today? I said, what? She goes, I can actually fill my plants, my potted plants. They won't fit underneath the faucet in the sink, but due to the fountain stream, I can fill the plants with it. You can also fill water bottles, that don't fit underneath the faucet, the fountain of the faucet. It's just so many use cases I never dreamed of. But the other thing is we never had any real proof of what the water savings is until we calculated it recently. The flow regulator in the spout of the nozzles reduces the flow rate from a normal faucet that's 2.2 gallons a minute down to 0.26 GPM. That's an 88% savings. And then there's WaterSense, which is 1.5 gallons per minute, and we beat that as well. And in fact, we recently got an award from WaterSense, a recognition for our water saving efforts that we're doing. So, and then just yesterday, I was notified that we won the 2020 Architecture Master Prize Product Design Award. So that was pretty cool too. We're winning a lot of awards for the faucet, and just makes it that much more fun.
Yeah,
love it, guys. It's been a total wonderful experience. I was trying to think of one other word, but I couldn't, so I was like, let me just say that. It's been a lot of fun, Dave. It's been pleasure meeting you, and
nice. Thank you,
Steve and Dave. Appreciate you guys being here, and Tim, always good to see you. And until next week, we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for coming on the show, and we'll see you guys soon.
It's an honor to be here. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you guys for being here.